Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where we are currently working on getting our war with Sweden and Latvia, well, started. I was going to say finished, but to be honest, it hasn't started yet. Currently, our strategic objective is Latvia, and up here our strategic objective would be Sweden. So that's absolutely fine for right now. We're going to just invade Latvia, let's get that taken care of, and then these guys will be able to reinforce the Swedish front. We shouldn't have a significant problem dealing with these two. It should be okay. But for the duration of this war, I'm going to raise our taxes to here. We'll cut the taxes after the war, but for now, I don't want to be building up further debt. I want to be working down our interest. So that'll be okay for now. And again, we're going to cut those taxes after the war, is the idea anyway. Oh, I ordered this fleet to move from here to here. It's not a big deal, but that is what I did. Okay. So we're going to be launching an attack into Latvia right now, and we're of course going to win this. We have absolutely no doubt about that one. Okay, yeah, judging by the way our finances are changing right now, I'm very glad that we decided to raise taxes for this moment. We're winning this battle against Sweden as well, so that looks magnificent. We're going to be finishing up our artillery foundry in 11 weeks. Okay. Artillery is not currently considered expensive, but we'll get that done anyway. Groceries and iron are considered expensive. So we may want to move our food industry up like this and then put our iron mine here for right now. Just because artillery is a little bit less of a priority. Hey look, Latvia is already under our control, and we are relocating over to this front, where we're already winning. So we shouldn't have any major issues there. We could think about sending one of these forces to go attack Gotland, which we did claim. If we go in here, Gotland we did claim. So that is a potential possibility. I think I want to crush the rest of Sweden first, though. That would likely be for the best. Okay, we're losing this battle, which I'm not actually surprised about. They have 24 defense to our 19 offense, so that's absolutely fine. We had a law debate success for our religious schools. That is very good. Another battle has broken out up here, and we are easily winning that. So these battles pushing in from the north are going to be far more successful than attempting to cross here. There's a naval invasion in Ingria. Okay, I definitely didn't expect that, but we can pull one of these forces back. Let's see, we can station an additional fleet there. And that would be... Are these guys already involved in it? They might be. They are. Okay. So that seems reasonably fine then. We have 2 Russian fleets with 23 versus their 13. We'll probably end up defeating that without any major problems. I don't think that'll be an issue. Even if it is, we can just redirect some forces from over here. That would be absolutely fine. Like, this war is pretty over at this point. They just don't know it yet. So we're going to press every single one of our war goals here. They won't accept this yet, but we'll do that for now. And Sweden's going to be a lot less likely to want to get out of this war, because we're actually taking a considerable amount of stuff from them. So that's not going to be, you know, the most popular thing in Sweden. That's absolutely fine. I'm not concerned about that right now. So we do have religious schools that are progressing forward here, and I expect these to go through pretty well. Latvia just capitulated. Amazing. Okay, so in that case, we absolutely do want to incorporate this state. And I also want to reset the production methods there, and in Uzbekia, actually. So we'll get that going. Hello, pause menu. We'll get that going for now. We're fine on our bureaucracy for the time being, so that looks good. Now, against Sweden, Sweden has 429 reasons to not accept this. Obviously, they're not going to accept it. And we can drop them below 0, actually. Noted. Atmospheric engine has been unlocked. That gets us a bunch of production methods, specifically for our mines. And that's actually a really, really good thing. So let's go into our rural buildings here, and we can go to atmospheric engine pumps. Now, this is going to be a lot more tools and a lot more coal. This is very likely going to cause us significant issues in the coal department. And we have no coal mines right now. So that is definitely going to be a concern. We can build coal mines, and those would be in, say, Moscow. How big is our coal deficit right now? 258, and each coal mine is allegedly producing 25 per level. So that's 100. That's 200. That's 250. In theory, we don't actually need that much, though. So I'm going to cancel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. And then we're going to put this government administration up top. And then we're going to put this iron mine here. And I don't think we need to move up these government administrations. Beyond that, I think prioritizing our coal mines makes sense here. So we're going to be running a shortage, obviously. But that's fine. We can definitely get to work on that. We had a debate here on our religious schools, and I think that we'll just take the... We'll focus on the curriculum. That'll be fine. We'll get our religious schools done as soon as we can. We do, after all, need to start getting our literacy up. No doubt about that. That will help us tremendously. How are we doing on iron at this point? Okay. We're doing okay on iron. It's coal that we have the problem with right now. We might actually want to delay this iron mine until down here and just work on the coal mines. That might not be a terrible idea. So they have 10 reasons to not accept this. Now they only have 1 reason to not accept this. As soon as we have... Okay, here we go. We can't propose this. Okay. We're going to have to wait for them to capitulate. I'm not sure why this does this in Victoria 3 sometimes, where they will likely agree to it, but it still won't let us, like, physically press the button to propose the peace deal. I think it's because we don't control Gotland, to be honest. I think that's why. And we are going to go after that. So I would like these guys to plan a naval invasion of Gotland with this fleet. Okay, we'll head on over there. Fantastic. So that shouldn't take very long to get that naval invasion underway. In all honesty, we should have that done pretty quickly. And this front is still absolutely fine. Yeah, we're going to easily win this, I think. They have basically nothing on Gotland. So that'll be absolutely fine. They'll capitulate very soon, or we'll be able to propose this peace deal as soon as we get Gotland taken over. And I believe we need 3 successful battles to land here. Okay, Sweden capitulates. Perfect. So that's absolutely fine. Where did our fleet go? I mean, I think it's still here. They're at the Baltic Sea. Okay, I want them to station out over here. There we go. That'll be fine for now. So our army is automatically demobilized. That looks good. We have an engines input goods shortage. Okay, that is certainly noted. We're going to need to deal with that. We're also going to need to incorporate Norland and Gotland, and we'll certainly do that. And we will update the production methods in those states as well. Cool. Now, I do want to hop into our buildings here in our rural areas, because coal mines are going to need the atmospheric engine pump. So we'll do that. That does generate additional pollution. So that is new and noted. We'll see what the actual result of that is. We got an advance here, 15% enactment success chance. I like it. So that'll be fine. We're up to a 39% chance here. This is looking solid. Yeah, this is going to pass. It's just a matter of time. Power of the purse has been unlocked. That looks okay. And we're still running a deficit for right now. But I do want to get at least this coal mine operational before we bring our taxes back down. We are going to drop the taxes, but we are running a deficit at this moment, so I'm not going to drop the taxes until we are getting this deficit under control. The primary reason that this deficit is a problem is because of these input goods shortages, right? So we definitely do need, oh, high-intensive agriculture. We'll get to you in a moment. We definitely do want to get an engines, or rather a motor industry going here. That is very negative in its earning because of the price of steel. Okay. So I'm going to put this in Moscow. I'm going to build 2 of these. And then we're going to need at least 1 steel mill, which we don't have any steel mills right now. I'm going to put 1 of these into Moscow. The coal mines are the priority, followed by the motor industry, followed by a steel mill, followed by an additional coal mine, followed by a motor industry, followed by this iron mine, followed by the final coal mine there. Okay, so that is underway, but that's going to take a while. Actually, we kind of need the steel mill before we need the motor industry, because we don't produce any steel right now. So there we go. That will take some time. No doubt about that. But just getting this coal mine done will be a very big deal. No doubt about that. There's only 1 building affected by this engine's input goods shortage, and that's the railway in Norland. Ah, yes. I mean, we're going to have additional railways, so we want to get started on this, but that's not really a huge effect on us. So that is noted. Yeah, this will be fine. We'll have a coal mine constructing basically constantly, so I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. We have a debate going on here. 10% enactment success chance. Gotland pops will become more radical. I mean, I'm not shocked about that. That is pretty expected, to be honest. So that's absolutely fine. Let's get some of this coal going here. Of course, we're fine with chilling. Our infamy is quite high right now at 43.8. So we're completely okay with chilling for a good long time here. That seems absolutely fine for the moment. Paper, tools, iron, and clippers are all currently expensive. Oh, right. We need to get our farm production methods. So over here, we can use soil enriching farming, and we absolutely will. This might create a fertilizer shortage. Yes, it does. I'm not surprised about that. This will make our livestock ranches produce more fertilizer, which would be good. But what we're really going to need is some chemical plants. So that is definitely going to be a thing that we need. Let's get at least 1 fertilizer plant now instead of chemical plant. Oh, they renamed that. Okay, interesting. Let's build this in Saratov. And we'll put that as top priority for right now, but I'm going to move this coal mine up above this motor industry. I want to be working on the coal mine and the steel mill here, and the fertilizer plant. These are the 3 that I want to actually be working on. So that'll be fine for right now. We are currently turning a small profit. If we were to drop our taxes at this moment, we would, of course, not be making a profit. So that's okay. We need to be working on our GDP. No doubt about that. I'm not going to drop the taxes just yet. We will soon enough, but not quite yet. We would like to eventually take over Norway up over here, but with our infamy where it's at, we need to chill. We need to let our infamy drop a little bit. We've had quite a lot of success in expansion thus far. Prussia has sided with Bavaria against the Bavarian Liberal Revolt. Okay. Well, I wish them luck with that one. For the time being, we're just ticking along here. I'm very interested in paying down our debt. Our interest has already dropped by over 1,000, so that's really, really good. Religious schools progresses to consideration, so that seems absolutely fine for right now. We are working on mechanical tools. That's a ways away. Okay. So this all looks reasonably fine. We want to get our literacy up, and I mean, we don't have any universities right now. We're not really in a position where we can build universities. We need to get a lot of these input goods shortages dealt with, right? This is the highest priority right now. So we'll get that dealt with for the moment. And eventually, we'll get this all done. How many buildings are currently affected by the coal shortage? 7? Okay. Noted. And 16 buildings are affected by the fertilizer shortage. So I don't know if just this fertilizer plant will be enough to get rid of the fertilizer shortage. Probably not, if I had to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We don't really want to overbuild it at this time. So we just want to create like a baseline production level, right? That's the overall goal here. I wouldn't mind boosting up our construction a bit, but I feel like we don't really have the funds for that. The United States colonized Utah. Good for them. Yeah, this is going to cost like between 4,000 and 5,000 per construction sector. Oh, what was this? France is embargoing Constantine. I don't care about that. Okay, that's fine. So no problem whatsoever there. We are going to be finishing the steel mill in 4 weeks. Of course, there's not actually any demand for steel yet. That's what the motor industries are for. So it'll be a little bit before the steel mill really starts to come online. And that's understood. We just needed to get the steel production done. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Either way, we would have a factory basically idling until both are finished. But I want to get this coal mine done as a priority. This motor industry should actually be moved down. Yeah, about like this. Cool. So that looks relatively good there. We're seeing our income go up a fair amount. We're still running a coal shortage here. That's not surprising, though. Market balance is minus 141. Yeah, that seems absolutely fine. Absolutely, completely fine. So we're going to get this fertilizer plant done in 6 weeks. This is going to produce how much fertilizer overall? Well, that's an interesting question. Apparently this tooltip doesn't tell us. We'll have to check over here. 90 per level. That's actually quite a lot. Our market balance is minus 140, so 90 might actually do the trick in bringing us off of maximum market price. That'll be interesting to feel out. Religious schools are done. Phenomenal. So that is great. Do we have another law that we want to change? We could try to go down to homesteading, except that will radicalize the gentry. I think we'll avoid that for the time being. We're on tenant farmers. It's good enough for now. We could go to poor laws, but nobody actually wants that, so I don't think we're going to go for it. In which case, we don't have any actual laws that we want to change here. Okay, looks good. We are running a small deficit now, and that is because of our bureaucracy. So our bureaucracy has dropped off. Noted. We definitely do want to get a government administration or 2 building here. So I'm going to get 2 building, and that means... Well, let's do this after the motor industry and coal mine. So we'll get this government administration going right away, and then this one will happen after the motor industry coal mine combination. There's a sulfur input goods shortage too. Okay. What is actually consuming that? The fertilizer plant. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, so that is fine. We can toss this in, say, here. So the sulfur mine will need to get done, and we should probably bump up its production method to an atmospheric engine pump. There we go. That'll be fine for now. And the sulfur mine will be done in 15 weeks. The government administration in 14. The motor industry in 42. This is, of course, being worked on slowly. We do need to get this bureaucracy dealt with. Absolutely. Of course, the bureaucracy went up from bumping up our schools, which is expected, but we do want to start investing in that literacy. So that's going to be very important for us. We're actually almost turning a profit, even with this minus 8% tax waste, which is not bad. Okay, not anymore. But that's reasonably fine. We could bump up taxes or put in another consumption tax. We could put in a consumption tax on opium. I think that's okay. Sure. That'll help offset this a little bit, but we are going to be angling to drop down to medium taxes when our economy can sustain that. I would prefer not to take our taxes up any higher than this. 3% prestige. Okay, sure. 2% of Pops and Saratov become more radical, but they'll get over it. I'm sure it'll be fine. Cool, so we have a fair amount of construction queued up here, of course. Sulfur mines, government administrations, both of these finishing up in 4 and 5 weeks, respectively. So that looks great. Just finishing this government administration in Moscow will boost our bureaucracy significantly, which is really good to see. I also want to take a quick look at how our incorporations are going here. So I guess we have to actually click on them. We can't see it from this position. Okay, sure. 12 years for these, 15 years for these, And of course, these new areas, that's only 3 years. Wow. Those are remarkably fast. Why are those so fast? It's a homeland of the Swedish culture, which shares the heritage cultural trait European heritage with another culture in Russia. Okay, noted. So Latvia should be fast too then. Indeed. Cool. We're currently turning a profit. That is a very good sign. That is, of course, because we finished up a government administration. This one is going to be finishing after the motor industries and coal mines. And then, yeah, we'll just get these 3 completed and then continue to work on government administrations. I'm hoping, although I don't think it's going to be the case, I'm hoping that this government... No, it's definitely not. This government administration is not going to bring us positive in bureaucracy, so we're going to want to probably do something like this. And immediately start construction on another government administration. Because that's very painful to be negative in bureaucracy. No doubt about that. So we're no longer running... Okay, we are running... Hang on. What was right here? That was the sulfur. Right, we're no longer running a sulfur shortage. That's expected. The coal shortage, fertilizer shortage still exists. Now, the fertilizer shortage might improve. Yeah, we're only producing 16.1 from our fertilizer plant in Saratov right now. That is because of our shortage of sulfur, which is now alleviated. So this will start to improve over time. That looks good. The coal shortage has been improving, but it has a ways to go. We still have a market balance of minus 142 there. So that's fine. We are going to get this coal mine done soon enough. We really probably don't need to prioritize this motor industry. Our other motor industry in Moscow is probably going to be producing enough. That said, it's not actually... Okay, there it's starting to employ. It only employed 46 employees, but how many are we going to get this week? Okay, it's employing very slowly. Regardless, we are starting to produce some levels of engines. We don't need all that much, I don't think. Yeah, we've got that steel input goods shortage at this point, and that is probably because there was no demand for steel whatsoever. Where's that steel mill at? Here it is. Yeah, we can see that this is starting to employ up as well. So that looks good. We're currently producing almost no steel. This is the number 10 steel mill in the world? There's almost no steel mills in the world then. Okay, because we have 37 employees here. Now we have 82, but it's number 83 in the world. Okay, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. So we no longer have any shortages at this point except the engines shortage. That should get dealt with. That shouldn't be a problem. The party will never end. Beautiful. The upper strata are going to be very happy with Moscow. So we can see we are very close to being positive with bureaucracy. This guy is going to start a movement to enact laissez-faire. That's okay. I don't mind that. It's going to be really hard to pass. Would this radicalize the gentry? It would. Okay, so the gentry are going to be a concern there. If this guy manages to get his radicalism up, we might be able to. I don't know. I'm definitely interested in passing laissez-faire, but with the gentry being where they are right now, it's a little bit tough. It is definitely a little bit tough. That said, our heir is a market liberal. So that is an interesting option, no doubt about it. We could, in theory, abdicate, but we would need the gentry to be marginalized or have very low approval. And our popularity, well, actually, we need one of those. We don't need all of those. Noted. It's an interesting option. I'm not sure it's necessary right now, but it is definitely an interesting option to move towards. We could definitely do it. So we've got this agitator here right now, right? So we could start doing this. That would radicalize the gentry, and then we would abdicate, would be the idea. I'm not sure how that would actually end up playing out. The gentry assembly would be radicalized by that. But our heir is from the gentry assembly. I mean, so is the current czar. So there is that. It's an option, for sure. Our heir would definitely be far more into enacting laissez-faire than I think this guy would. Yeah, he's a traditionalist. So that would definitely be beneficial. But we would have to make the gentry assembly angry first. I generally prefer to erode away their political power. But it would definitely work, I think. Mechanical tools has been unlocked. Cool. That gives us a fair amount of production methods. Excellent. That'll also boost up our demand for steel. So we can take a look at what is available here. We can go down to precision tools here. Our tooling workshops would go to steel tools. Now that's going to be allegedly very negative. And I suspect that's actually true. Possibly sulfur issues here as well. But yeah, there's definitely going to be an input shortage of steel. We do have some steel production here. We can go down to slaughterhouses, which I do want to do. And we have a shortage of sulfur as well. Okay, this is all absolutely noted and all absolutely fine. We're working on this motor industry here. This is probably unnecessary. So for the moment, I want to grab ourselves a sulfur mine. And I also want to grab ourselves a steel mill. -12 infrastructure in Moscow at this time, though. That is a concern. Maybe we shouldn't build this in Moscow. We should build this in Saratov for right now. Okay, so we're going to get that going. I'm going to actually cancel this motor industry in Moscow because we don't need it, A, and B, I don't want to boost up the requirement of infrastructure in Moscow until we have railroads. We don't really have a way to do anything about this until we get this in 3 years. So we need to kind of chill on building in Moscow at this point. Unfortunately, that's where our government administrations are going. Luckily, we don't actually need to build any government administrations right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a second sulfur mine, and I'm going to build a second steel mill. We are going to need more steel mills and more sulfur eventually. So let's build the steel mills first, and then the sulfur mines. We are very close to being able to drop our taxes here. So that's good. Although I expect that to come down as these input goods shortages start to propagate throughout the network. So that could be a potential problem. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're probably going to see about attacking down over here, although our infamy might be too high for that still. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.